This has been a test of the emergency broadcast system.
All right, that'll be enough. I don't know why I came here tonight. I'm here with one of my friends
Corey.
and my other friend,
Dylan.
and here I am, stuck in the middle with you.
That was cute. That's really cute.
Thank you. You see what I did? It's a song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like lyrics. In
So
it.
there's this one thing, that song that. Anyway, welcome. This is From the Middle podcast, brought to you by Columbus, Ohio. Not a sponsor, but we're looking at you, Mayor, whatever your name is.
Is that like Columbus Visitors Bureau? Who would sponsor it?
I don't know.
The mayor's just gonna give us cash.
That's exactly.
Just show up with a wad of cash.
He shows up wearing a sash, walks in through that door, and says, "Gentlemen, let's keep this going," and then rains.
I absolutely think it should be rolled up with a rubber band around it, and he chucks it on the floor,
Seems legit.
and that's it.
Yeah.
And then he vanishes just as mysteriously as he appeared.
So that's who we are.
Yeah, I was thinking, I'm like, who sponsor? Experience Columbus is like our Visitors Bureau like theme.
There you
I don't know
go.
if that's the name of it.
Yeah.
Here's looking at you, kiddos.
I wonder what their budget is like.
I don't know.
We're going to be contacting them real soon.
Probably like every other Visitors Bureau.
We pay people in smiles
Yeah.
and experience.
We're looking for volunteers to work 80 hours a week.
This is episode 18.
Wow.
Of,
Can you believe it?
I can.
That feels like the type of
17
response.
came out last week. So
Yeah.
I'd say.
Feels like the kind of response for a more unique episode number, like 50
Yeah, this is
or 100.
this is
Nope.
the
18 was the line where I was like, then we'll
Wow.
be legit.
this is the Peyton Manning episode.
Yeah. 4.5 months is the unique point where you just want to make sure everyone knows.
Right.
We're an adult now.
We can talk about what we want. That's,
No less
that's-
juvenile.
That's the rules. So we're gonna do a whiskey episode one of these days.
In a couple years.
In a couple years, we're
All
gonna.
episodes, I mean.
Yeah.
Off to a great start, guys. This is good. I'm feeling good about it.
Hey, do we have stories and updates?
Yeah, do we want to go around?
Let's do it.
All right.
Okay.
Let's do it. Hold on. Corey
Yeah.
just got back from what I gather had to have been a fantastic vacation.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
So it was 2 trips back to back. For the first time in 4 years, Sherry joined me on a work trip. And so we were out in Silicon Valley, like San Jose, Redwood City, Bay Area, stuff like that. Excuse me. We had a gig there. And then we stayed the weekends with some friends. Dan and Tam were gracious enough to open their house to us.
Dan and Tam.
Yeah, Dan's my colleague and his lovely wife Tam. They opened up their house to us and we crashed with them over the weekend and then went to Maui from California for an anniversary trip. Yeah. So today is the day we're recording this is actually my wife and I's 15-year anniversary.
Whoa!
So,
Wow.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
So
I had no idea.
yeah. So shout out to Cher. I love you. Thanks for putting up with me. So anyway, had a great trip to Maui. And here's what I realized. Like nobody really wants to hear people's vacation or travel stories. So I just picked one. There were some interesting celebrity sightings.
Ooh.
Yeah, we talked about how we would interact around celebrities should we see them.
Yeah.
So we were at LAX departing for Honolulu, and they're calling up the boarding groups. And they're about halfway through the boarding groups when this couple walks up to the ticket counter, and they sort of walked past all the lines, and you could just tell by how they were walking and how they were dressed that this might be somebody like famous. So I'm kind of like keeping a loose eye on him because I'm trying to figure out who it is. And I'm like, I just have a feeling because they didn't have any luggage. Like somebody had already taken care of all their stuff. So they just had a baby and like one little tiny bag.
Yeah.
And they were dressed in some pretty swag? No. Swanky gear.
Swag.
So then I noticed the other people in front of us in the line were doing Instagram stories, videos where you can put words over top of it,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And they're like, OMG, it's Ray J and Princess.
I don't know who that is.
So Ray J is a rapper
Okay.
and his wife is, her name is Princess. But Ray J is probably most known for his, an infamous video he recorded with Kim Kardashian.
Okay.
You might call it an intimacy video.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
And
Yeah.
that kind of was really popular a handful of years ago. So Ray J and Princess were on our flight from LAX to Honolulu. And I was like, am I going to try to talk to him? Or like, because, we said, like, how would we act around celebrities and all
There's
that?
one thing I know about.
Yeah, right? Like, I don't listen to his music.
Right.
And I definitely didn't see that video.
Yeah.
And so we landed in Hawaii, and I just said, because he had his baby with him, I'm like, hey, how did she do on the flight? And he's like, oh, she did really well. He's like, I did really good. I knocked out. And I was like, okay. So like, I felt like, oh, cool. I talked to Ray J.
There you go.
I wonder if he actually knows the baby did well then.
Right, because his wife took care of everything.
Yeah.
Good job, Princess.
Exactly. And then on the way back, so we were in Phoenix, Phoenix on the way back, and saw.
You were right the first time.
Oh, was I?
Yes.
Kurt Warner.
Oh, that makes sense.
NFL quarterback, former
Yeah.
NFL quarterback, and lives in that area. I didn't see his face, but I was sitting next to him without realizing it. And then a guy came up and goes, do you know who was sitting right next to you? I was like, no, I didn't really. He's like, that was Kurt Warner. I was like, oh, cool. And then I saw a tall dude boarding his flight. So anyway, saw Kurt Warner and Ray J and Princess. And Shin Lim, any AGT fans out there? America's
Yeah.
Got Talent?
Oh, yeah.
Shin Lim was getting married on Maui when we were there at a different resort. So just right up the coast there. So Shin Lim was there getting married.
Shin Lim is, I just want to be that guy. He's, before America's Got Talent, he was on Penn and Teller's Fool
Yes,
Us,
yes.
which is where I saw him first.
Yeah.
And it was just like, I'm sorry. I'm a magician nerd. I
didn't know
like
this.
magic. And specifically like Penn and Teller Fool Us, like that show, I just is, yeah.
So do you like
spend-
the explanation of
I
the...
spend a lot of bathroom time on my phone watching Penn and Teller
Oh.
Fool Us videos.
By the way, some kind of marketing deep in the back of my brain might have just come screaming back. Was there a show for the love of Ray J? Was that or am I mixing up some kind of MTV?
Huh.
You might be. I would have to look.
I just felt like that phrase just popped in my head when you said Ray J. So do you like the behind the scenes of the trick, or do you like
I do.
trying to figure it out on your own?
I like trying to figure it out on my own.
Okay.
And it's one of those things where like the Masked Magician from a while ago, whenever
Yeah.
that was, I was big into him. Yeah, I mean, whenever there was like a David Copperfield special on TV as a kid, I was always watching it and trying to figure things out. But it's still fun, and I mean, there's more that I don't know than I know, but there's a lot of things. So like, my wife, because she's sweet and awesome, will entertain me sometimes when I'm like, "Amy, you gotta watch this. You gotta watch this with me," and so it's like for her, it's annoying if she doesn't know how it was done. But it can be disappointing because then I tell her how certain tricks have been done before, and I'm like, literally sometimes it's as stupid as the person who they called up on stage has like secret headphones, and like that's a legitimate. And then they made this whole big, giant, creepy show out of it. But, like, that was the trick. Sometimes it's that dumb. And so it can be, if you know how it was done, sometimes the magic of it just kind of goes away because
Yeah.
you realize that. But no, for me, I'm still intrigued by it, and I still like the performance. And we talk about storytelling. I still like the storytelling of
Yeah.
even if I know how the trick was done. I like to see how this particular person is gonna portray it and what they're gonna do with it. So yeah.
So Shin Lim. So before we move off from comedians, Michael Kent is a local comedian, magician. And when I was at CCAD, we would bring him in for entertainment. But he was on Penn and Teller's show.
Mm-hmm. I remember the name.
Yeah, and I think he got pretty. They really liked one of his tricks. They were very complimentary of his set. So shout out to Michael Kent. He's a great guy to work with. But so Shin Lim was in Maui getting married, and I saw he was posting pictures on Instagram. He was just up in a different. He was in Kaanapali, and we were down in Wailea. But anyway, same side of the island. So here's the one very quick Maui story, which I think tells our listeners a lot about my wife and I. Okay, so weeks and weeks before we were supposed to leave on this back-to-back work trip / anniversary trip, anybody that found out we were going to Maui said, you got to go to Mama's Fish House. Do whatever you can to go to Mama's Fish House. Hey, have you heard about Mama's Fish House? I'm like, no, okay. So they're like, now you're not going to get in. It's almost impossible to get a table, but do whatever you got to do. If there's a chance, if you have to murder someone, try to get a table.
Yikes.
Try to get a reservation for Mama's Fish House. I'm
So
like,
it's good. Okay.
Yeah.
okay. It's like they say it's the best food on the island. It's an expensive meal. Make it your fancy night out, but you gotta go to Mama's, right? Mm-hmm. So my colleague Dan that I was telling you about, he was like, dude, you got to do whatever you can to try to get a table. Okay. So I go on to Open Table and I try to make a reservation, and there's nothing. Well, they have a button that shows up that says see next available. Mind you, we're still 3 weeks out from leaving. The first table that was available was like a week after we were going to be leaving. So it just wasn't going to work out. So I call the restaurant and I say, hey, I know that you're booked, but do you have like a standby list as people cancel that you can work through and call? And she all but laughed at me. She didn't laugh at me, but she was like, sir, yeah, you're just going to have to check the website or check Open Table. It refreshes instantly. So if a table gets canceled, we'll post it right away, right?
Yeah.
So now we're about 2 weeks out, and pretty regularly I'm going on the site to see if I can get a table. And one day I'm clicking through, and a table becomes available for 11 a.m. on a Saturday. It would have been the 6th day that we were going to be in Hawaii.
Yeah.
So I just grab it because it's the same menu all day. So it's not like we were going to miss out on any special dinner entrees or anything. So I just grab the table.
Yeah.
So now I got to go tell Sherry, hey, there's this place. It's impossible to get into. All the things I just said. Best food on the island. I got a table, right? For 11 a.m. on Saturday, the day before we leave. And her first response after she does the math of time zones, she goes, Saturday? During football?
Yeah.
I was equal parts disappointed and also very proud that my wife loves college football so much that she's actually bummed that we're going to have to miss some football to go to this nice restaurant. So I tell Dan, my colleague who said that I had to go there, I was like, dude, I got a table, but Sherry's bummed because it's during college football. And so here's what I tell her. I said, listen, you can go on the website. You can try to get us a table. I've already messed with it, like multiple phone calls and multiple times. If you can get a different time, great, right? Fast forward, now we're in Maui. So I said, we're not allowed to do anything. We've traveled all day yesterday. Let's not do any excursions. Let's not even think about planning anything because she's very much a planner. I said, let's just enjoy the resort, explore the resort, and see what we're going to have access to during the week. So we go swim, we go to the ocean, we go to the pool, whatever. We come up after lunch sometime. So it's early afternoon now. We've kind of chilled in the room for a while, and she's messing with the Open Table app to try to see if she can get a different time so she can watch football the coming Saturday. So all of a sudden she goes, oh my gosh, a table just became available at 8:45 p.m. tonight. It's our first day there. We already said we're not doing anything.
Yeah.
She goes, do you want me to grab it? Do you want me to grab it? And I'm like, just grab it. Just grab it. We'll figure it out later, right? She goes, oh my gosh, I don't have an Open Table account. What's your password? And we're like, you get 2 minutes to confirm your reservation or they're going to give it away to somebody else. This is like impossible that this table has just become available, right?
Right.
So she gets the table, and now we got to figure out how we're going to get there. Okay. So people have already sort of freaked us out about how expensive food is, like for not just this meal, but like all the times that you're going to need to eat. Like food around the resort area is just stupid expensive. So my wife, who prides on herself on how far she stretches our dollars, is like, let's try to find like a Safeway or a Walmart and get groceries for the week so that we don't have to eat resort meals all week, which I'm like very, very sensible. So we're like, well, we're already going clear to the other side of the island. We might as well try to find a grocery store so we can stock up on some snacks for the room. Because our philosophy was, let's splurge on the location and just eat whatever. Like, I'll eat crackers and bananas. Like, I don't care, right?
Yeah.
So I say all that to say, we know that we're going to have to get an Uber to go to the other side of the island. And then we also want to go to a grocery store. That's another Uber. And then Uber back to the resort. By the time we added it all up, it was going to be like $120 in Ubers.
Yeah.
So she goes, wait a minute. Down by the concierge desk, there's an Enterprise rent-a-car. We could just rent a car for tonight. And I was like, that's great. She's like, they close in 15 minutes. So now we're like scrambling to make this, which I'm like, if we would have just gone on Saturday, she's like, no, then we would have missed football. So we're just having this like, so I'm like, we've just been swimming. So we got to throw clothes on. We go down to the desk. There's a guy talking to the agent. He's finishing up his rental agreement and there's no sense of urgency. By the time he wraps up, we have 2 minutes left. We look at the lady and we're like, will you still rent us a car? She looks at her watch. She's like, yeah, I'll still rent you a car. Have a seat. No problem. We're like, oh, great. She's like, well, it's a good thing because there's only one car left. We're like, no problem. We'll take whatever you guys have. Well, everyone else we had seen renting cars from the resort was getting like Jeep Wranglers and Mustang convertibles and all these cool things, right?
Yeah.
So we're like, she's like, where are you going? She's making small talk. We're like, oh, we're going up to Mama's for dinner. She's like, oh my gosh, you guys are going to love it. She's like, now, just so you know, all we have left is a minivan. And I start laughing and shaking my head, and Sherry doesn't realize that she's serious. And I knew she was serious. And she goes, no, seriously. And the lady goes, I'm really sorry. Seriously, this is the last car we have, and it's a minivan. And we're like, we're away from our kids for the first time in 15 years. And you're telling us that all you have left is a minivan, and we still have to go to Walmart before this trip is over. So we made the best of it, and we put the windows down and blared music. But it was just such like a funny picture that you try to be fancy and you try to like live it up one night. And it's just like God to humble you and go, you're getting a white Dodge Caravan for the rest of the evening. So, but we had a great time. And if you've never seen pictures of or experienced, I told Sherry, the Grand Wailea is worth us not doing any trips together for like 5 years and just saving up to go back there.
Yeah.
In all my work travels, it's the best place that we've ever stayed, and it's a stellar spot. So, anyway, great trip. I didn't want to bore you guys with a ton of Hawaii stories, but I thought that one was a pretty funny one because it says a lot about Sherry and I both, and was just kind of like this sitcom-esque kind of moment where she's like, "We got a minivan."
Yeah,
dude. So how was the food?
Oh man, Mama's. Yeah, it was everything everybody said, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it was like some of the best bites of food you've ever put in your mouth. I mean, it was. I mean, you paid for it, and cocktails were like $24 for one cocktail. Right. But the food was spectacular, and it's right on the ocean, and they have like literally there's sea turtles nesting out on the beach, and tiki torches and sunset views of the ocean, and it was spectacular. But yeah, pretty funny. So we get there, and it's valet only.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we pull up in the minivan.
Yeah.
You know, again.
Hey.
Did you feel like you needed to look at the valet guy and go, they only had a minivan left? That's all Rent-A-Car had.
Oh, we missed home.
I mean, but what better grocery getter if you need a week's worth of food
so
than
we went
having
to
a minivan?
We literally got like 3 bags, big, huge bags full of stuff at Walmart, and we're set up for the week, which it was probably better that way, that we went the first day out and just got food for the week. But yeah, it was funny. So.
That's awesome.
Fun. Are we gonna tell them? If not, this will just be a teaser for later. But about the
Oh, yeah. So that comes in a little later in the episode.
All right, keep listening.
Cool.
Keep listening.
Did you want to tell your Starbucks story, or do you want to just get right to the?
No, I'll tell it. I had this moment. So my wife and daughter and I went out of town, and between our hotel and some family's house, there's a Starbucks on the way. So we offer, hey, we're gonna run to Starbucks. Does anybody want anything on our way over to our family member's house? So we take the order, and I realize they don't have a drive-through, so I've got to go in and place the order. Now, little backstory: somehow the whole Starbucks trend really passed me. And that sounds weird, but like I've had Starbucks. I know what it is. I've been in them. I've ordered drinks. But like when it got super popular and everyone was learning their menu and how to order things, I just totally missed that. And
Like their sizes for things, like
sizes and the drinks names, and I know Frappuccino is cold.
I feel like there's a percentage of people that make the rest of us feel the way you're feeling right now.
Maybe I'm relatable.
There are people who just know everything that's at Starbucks.
What?
But I don't know.
I sometimes when I go in there, I feel like the technology illiterate person just staring at the cable remote. Like, I just want to change the channel, and it's like, I go. So anyway, so I've got this text message thread of drinks to order. And so I kind of walk up to the guy. Fortunately, they're not busy. They're always which by the way, they have to be so fast all the time because they're so busy that everything happens so quickly. And it just all the more makes me feel like I'm being outpaced by technology or something as someone who's very tech literate. But anyway, so I go in and I just tell the guy, I'm going to read a bunch of things off to you that don't mean anything to me that I'm sure will mean something to you. And I hope there's no follow-up questions because I really don't know what this... And I'm not even confident enough ordering like the one thing that I like there. Like it's the slow, like, okay, I don't even know enough of the words to actually make up drink orders for what I was reading off of the phone. Anyway, So I start reading off the first drink and I get to the end of the first text of what somebody wanted. And there's already a question, and it's hot or cold, and I didn't know, and I think coffee, and I think hot, and I just say hot.
Assume hot.
I just assume hot. I don't know, so I just say hot, and then I read off the second one, and he's nodding along and punching it all into a screen. So I'm feeling slightly more confident that I'm ordering these things correctly. Third drink goes off without a hitch, feeling fairly confident. Got a little cocky. Pride comes before the fall. Now I'm stumbling over my own drink that I have to order, and I don't even have a phone to use anymore. Part of me wants to keep staring at the phone like I'm still reading to give myself this pass that I have no idea. So I'm stumbling. I'm kind of looking, okay, what was the size of the last drink on my phone? And I got to order, okay, I'll take this and the white chocolate and raspberry extra this. And I don't, very few things in life make me feel that behind.
But that does, huh?
Starbucks does. And I don't know if anybody relates to that. And the guy's super nice. Everything is so fast. So then they're bringing the drinks over to the side counter, right? And they're like, Dylan. And so now I need to like look at these drinks. I don't really know what's in them. I got to examine it as if, oh yeah, this is, the eyebrows are going, yeah, this is what I ordered. I don't know. Nobody complained about their drinks. I got as many drinks as I thought that I ordered.
Right.
And so, all things considered, no blood was shed. But I don't know if anybody else feels that way. So if you're listening and you feel a little intimidated by ordering places or going in and anything that you do regularly that feels really fast or beyond you or whatever, I don't know. Maybe other people have the Starbucks thing. I still don't know the sizes, and you guys told me the sizes earlier.
There was a guy at the airport, and he went up to the counter, and from the person, he just goes, "I'll just have whatever you guys call coffee." And it was like, I don't want to mess with your naming convention, or we could also take that to mean whatever sludge you call coffee.
Yeah. Pour me your best cup of sludge, and I guess I'll drink it. Yeah.
Like whatever you call medium coffee, that's what I want.
Yeah, and I don't know. Look, a friend of mine, maybe we'll have him on at some point. His name's Harley. He makes small batches of coffee. And I just told him at one point, he's trying to explain all of this. He's into French press and what constitutes good coffee. And I'm like, dude, caffeinated chocolate milk is what I'm going for. I don't know. Past that, I'm going to add some sweetener and some cream. That's where I'm just not awesome. I'm ignorant of the whole coffee world and Starbucks' ordering process, apparently.
Yes.
It's all good.
Super common thing that most people picked up that I didn't.
Yeah. I want to have Harvey on, by the way. That'd be fun. Harley.
Like
I'm
the
sorry.
motorcycle.
I haven't even met you yet, friend, but you're a coffee lover,
Yeah.
and I'm a coffee lover. And I'm not so much a Starbucks lover because, as I said, I'm a coffee lover.
Yeah.
And,
The pretentious coffee people got that.
I have a feeling that Harley understands what I just said.
yeah. I'll
So
make sure
anyway,
he listens.
yeah, we should do that.
And that would be an interesting conversation because I fall for the Starbucks thing. I do enjoy it. So
It's a whole ton of marketing.
Yeah.
And they're
I
mean,
said fall for.
exactly. Yeah. No, they're not. They might be sourcing it from different places or things like that, but I mean, do a blind taste test among all of the fast food restaurants and throw a Starbucks in there of just a regular plain black coffee.
Yeah.
And I think you'd be surprised at how little difference there actually
But if
is.
you like caffeinated chocolate milk,
But if you like caffeinated chocolate
Dylan,
milk, then hey,
Yeah.
then
You're
go
all
to
set.
Starbucks and.
Boom.
But McDonald's makes
Roasted.
that stuff too. So, anywho,
Anywho, so guys, I'm really excited, and,
Yeah.
and I'm really excited for our middlers because for 17 episodes, we've all but been begging you to message us, comment, rate, review, send in voicemails,
Uh-huh.
please, for the love of God.
yeah, no, I would say begging is.
Yeah, we've
actually
been
a
begging.
Begging's a good
that's-
word.
That's a good word.
And it's been a while since we've recorded. So what we've done here and what this episode is going to be is responding to this backlog of voicemails, comments, stuff that you guys have sent in, and we're really excited about it. And we're going to do it in the order of the episode. So we went back in our backlogs, and they start as early as episode 14. And we have a voicemail from Jenna, our cousin, about EDC Everyday Carry.
Hey guys, this is Jenna. I just wanted to say, in reference to the everyday carry, that first of all, I'm very jealous, and this has been going on for a while, that girls don't get pockets that are as deep and effective as men's pockets. I don't understand why they give us these sometimes they're not even real pockets. They're like fake. They just make them look like we have pockets. So I couldn't really do what you do by carrying the same stuff every day in my pockets. But I will say that women can carry purses and those types of things, but I don't really enjoy that, and I'm not very good at it. So I'm a little jealous in that respect. I'm also curious for Kendall if he is always carrying that. Like if you go to a fancy event, you have to wear a suit. Are you always carrying that stuff no matter what? But that's it.
Okay, so the everyday carry thing. First of all, Jenna, I wanna say too that I think it is a sham that that women have to walk around without pockets if they want to be trendy. Now I'll say this, that it's a situation that I think that women could fix, but it would be at the expense of looking like your grandmother probably, right? And so I would, yeah, I just want to point that out that's not lost on me. But
And also shallow pockets. I didn't realize women were having like half pockets or shallower pockets.
or fake pockets.
Or
Fake
fake
pockets is
pockets.
a
Now I've seen guys shorts like khaki shorts with fake back pockets and stuff.
that's weird. I've not seen that.
Yeah, I've seen those
Anyway.
before. I'd never buy them.
No, I mean, if I were a woman, I like to think that I would, just bite the fashion bullet and wear pants that have pockets. But there's a comedian, I don't know who it is. You guys probably do, because that's who you are. Who says like if you wanna like make a woman fall in love with you even more, or if you want to impress the heck out of your significant other, just if she goes on a vacation or a work trip or whatever it is, gather up all of her dresses, take them to a sewing shop person, and have them sew pockets on all her dresses.
Yeah.
And then present them to her, and she would just, they all have pockets, because nothing makes a woman more excited than finding out that her favorite dress has pockets.
I'd like to know from the listeners, how much fervor is behind this issue? Like, how passionate is it? Like, yeah, it'd be nice, but we've got purses.
I tell you what,
Or is it like, no, friggin' seriously?
Oh man,
designers.
It gets into patriarchy is the problem. I've had this discussion before with somebody who
Interesting.
got political.
Okay,
Oh.
so chime in
Yeah.
on social media and tell us if Kendall's right or wrong. If this is a down with the patriarchy.
I tried to keep it center on what my actual opinion may or may not be.
No, Kendall is
That is
stating for
by
all
design.
women, so you need
That
to.
is. I will speak for women from now on this show.
Oh Lord. Maybe just address her question about.
That's probably better.
So when you went to the Top
went awry.
Gun Tom Cruise bar in your fancy suit, were you able to carry all the same things?
No. So okay, I don't have very many occasions where I have to dress up. I'm literally like jeans and shirt every day. But I mean, like, say when I do dress up, it's usually related to my wife's work, in an event that they have going on. But no, I don't carry everything when I dress up. I do enjoy dressing up. And I don't know. I like the old school gentlemanly dapper kind of like, so I still will have like my fountain pen with me on the inside of the jacket pocket, because I want to wear a jacket when I dress up, because I never otherwise wear one, and I think it's cool to do so. Like even like down to like my Apple Watch, I don't wear when I dress up. I have a specific dressier, nicer looking watch that
Nice.
I wear. So no, I don't carry everything then. Just the essentials. But yeah, I even thin my phone out so it doesn't look weird.
Well, so that's what I was going to bring up. I watched some Best Damn EDC videos,
Yeah.
and that guy was saying that he'll have different types of everyday carries for different situations.
Yeah.
So there are some where he has more items, and then he'll say, well, if I'm going super minimalist and I just want a couple things, here's what I carry for that. I have it in a copper version and then like in a silver version.
Yeah, he's
And
like way into it.
Yeah, he's way into it. So I would imagine that as you go deeper into the rabbit hole, you can find,
Yeah.
here's when I dress up, here's when I have some extra pockets.
Yeah,
that are
I'm
real.
much more simple in the way that like it's literally the same thing every day for me.
Yeah.
And I'm literally wearing like the Levi's 541 jeans every day.
Yeah.
Summer, winter, spring, and fall, wearing the same jeans, and so it's really easy for me to just do the same thing every day, with those like 1 or 2 days out of the year when I can't.
Yeah. I also found it funny that Jenna said she's not very good at carrying a purse. I thought that was funny.
I can see that. I can
But-
see that
but-
if you leave it behind.
Sure. But somebody else commented, like, you should do a whole episode on what women carry in their purses, because that's a whole other.
There you go.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. We could
Mary Poppins level,
Man,
I'm sure.
that could be a video episode. Like
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
bring in some ladies and
All right.
and do purse dumps.
All right, moving on to episode 15, where we started talking about pet peeves. We got a great little note from our friend Sherry. And Sherry has messaged me multiple times and said, I want to comment so many times, but some of my comments are like smart alecky or like sarcastic. And I'm like, do it. It's all good. Like, it's fine. But she finally reached out. And so she said, hey, guys, I listened to this episode less than 24 hours ago. That was episode 15, where we started talking about pet peeves. And she said, and today and it's a bulleted list, she said, I giggled when a girl spoke in a meeting about a huge learning curve. I stepped out of the aisle mid-conversation. Hear. Thank you.
Changing the world.
Spatial awareness. I love it.
Bravo.
She said she used extra moisty noises when I was describing a sound just to tick the person off.
Extra moisty.
Moisty was in quotes.
And well, because the word moist is often a trigger word, and so
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
she did that on purpose.
So good.
Way to go, Sherry.
And then the last one, she said, I tried my turn signal every time I changed lanes.
Bravo.
She said, I don't know what all of this means, but just want you to know that you all brighten my week. Thank you.
Oh
Oh, that's sweet.
We could have saved someone's life.
We could have.
man, I like that she tried her turn signal every time. Like it didn't work out sometimes.
That might be in our
Like,
next intro.
I tried to do my turn signal, but it just didn't work.
Yeah.
Saving lives should be in our next intro, by the way. 3 middle-class guys just saving lives.
Just saving lives.
Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of moisty noises and mouth noises, we have a voicemail from Jeremy about mouth noises.
Hey, this is Jeremy, longtime listener. Hey, I told Dylan this, I think, once in the past, so I thought I would share it with you. In the category of pet peeves, I've been a notorious, very angry listener of people chewing food, clinking glasses. Just for some reason, it would just throw me into this, not rage, but just super angry about that sort of thing. And this has gone on since my childhood, but especially in my adult years, and it's gotten worse, which is weird because I feel less cantankerous than I used to be. But I realized recently that I actually just am getting migraines. I'm getting like these severe migraines at certain times of day. I started taking medication for my migraines, and my pet peeve about listening to people chew and clinking spoons on their bowl and stuff has completely gone away. So turns out my pet peeve was actually a medical condition. So Dylan, maybe look into that, bud.
Yeah. I am very, very open to the fact, and will consult with my doctor, that my pet peeves might be a medical condition.
Scientific enough for me.
And as we've established, says way more about me than the annoying people, that I might be trash. So totally open to that.
But I would say that the people with actual misophonia would say, no, it has nothing to do with headaches or migraines and everything to do with the fact that I just can't stand hearing people make mouth chewing, chomping on ice noises. So that's very interesting. And for those of you who didn't put it together, that's Jeremy Kester, who is a guest on the show already. So
Name that voice. Well,
Name that.
we already did.
Just
but
did.
Just okay.
Literally did.
Never mind.
Uh,
There's a note. Yeah. That here, and this is something. So we were literally we're recording this episode on pet peeves, and literally I am the guy who is talking about language, and how in my head I am often a stickler for language, and then sort of outwardly I tend to like razz people that I know and love about it in a funny way. And make jokes, and so whatever, we record the episode and put it out there, and my wife is listening to it at work, and she sends me a text message that says, "Hey, maybe you shouldn't be talking about other people's linguistics when you don't know how to use the word aloof." And
snap! Called out.
Called out. And this is a legitimate thing. My entire life up until that moment, I have been using the word aloof incorrectly, or at the very least, my definition to the word aloof was much more open than it actually is. I can just imagine like my wife like hearing me complain about Alanis Morissette and the word ironic, and then at some point I use the word aloof incorrectly, and she's like, "Oh, he's getting a text message." But no, so the word aloof I have always used synonymously with the word oblivious. That to be aloof just means you're completely unaware of your surroundings and you kind of go about your way in your own little world, which is much of what we were talking about.
Yeah, because we were talking about the guy who was walking in the parking lot in between the two aisles of cars, and you said it was probably not because he was aloof.
Right.
I think that was the
or no, probably just because he was aloof.
Yeah, either way.
Like he wasn't being mean. He was just
aloof.
Just aloof. He was just oblivious to the fact that you were there. I was trying to defend him with the word aloof, which makes it even worse. Because the actual definition for the word aloof is a not friendly or forthcoming, cool and distant, conspicuously uninvolved and uninterested, typically through distaste. There is nothing positive or excusing about the word aloof. It does not mean what I thought it meant, and for that, everybody, I am sorry, and I apologize, and I retract my earlier statement. I did use the word aloof, I think, in the following episode correctly, but it was totally on accident that I used it correctly.
That's awesome.
So, There we go.
Oh, very funny.
Um,
All right. So the fact checked, I'm sorry, the pet peeve episodes got a lot of interaction.
I would say, yeah, we've been begging for interaction, and leave it up to the episode where we're just complaining about everything.
Man, people
that people are like, oh, I want to complain too.
People really seem to like that one. So we got a great email from John. I'll let you read that, Kendall, from Cool Cat John.
All right, from episode 16. It says, "Good morning, middle people. Longtime correspondent Cool Cat John here. John we've read an email of his in the past on a previous episode. He says, "Thank you for sharing you pet peeves." Take that, John. "I sincerely lament any frustration my ungentlemanly adherence towards turn signaling has wrought, and hope it has not prematurely spoiled our budding friendship. I want to call a fact check on one middler who chose not to mention people who end sentences in a preposition. Again, people on my case. If you can do it with your hand in a book, then you should think twice about stopping your sentence in front of one member of the squad. One guess on who that much beloved grammar Nazi might be. Dylan." That was me. I said Dylan. That was Kendall, not John. Anyway, back to John. "I also want to know if you guys have considered the inverse of your original question as an icebreaker for work. We often chat about freak flags. That crazy thing you do that you think is totally normal while the rest of civilization states on in total disbelief. Let me give you a faux instance. My friend Brenda has a superpower to personify objects. When shopping for ketchup, she found just 2 left. She only needed 1, but bought both because she didn't want one to feel bad because it would be alone. Alternatively, I like hot food and cold food only, so a huge portion of my food lives in my fridge, including chips, cookies, cereal, etc. Totally normal. Regards, CCJ."
That's awesome. So
that was very well written. In fact, so well written. I think there's something in there about me and turn signals, but I don't know.
No, maybe.
No, there was a turn signal.
There was a turn signal
Yeah,
thing.
that's great. Yeah, keep doing that, John. That's great. Keep up the turn signals.
No, he was ungentlemanly adherence toward turn signal has wrought and hope. It's not prematurely spoiled our budding friendship. So,
but we really like his idea on freak flags.
Yeah.
So stay tuned. I have a feeling, a sneaking suspicion, you might say, that we might do an episode on our freak flags, owning our own weirdness.
That's right.
So I would like to just put a slight tweak on it, because I'll admit this, because he says things that you believe are totally normal while the rest of civilization states on total disbelief. I know some of them are weird.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So I think that would be really fun to talk about. Since people liked the pet peeves one so much, we should do an episode on our own personal freak flags.
Yeah.
Great.
And I will say this about ending sentences and prepositions, that it is something that catches my ears from time to time when people do it, but I don't think I catch all of those. I don't think that's as high on my radar as other things. And I'm pretty confident that in my linguistic persuasions, I often end sentences with prepositions. That's something I am probably bad at.
Okay, we have another voicemail.
Hello? Is this? Did I get through? I got through. Is this from the middle? Hey, hello? Hello? Oh.
I'm not sure what that was, but I love how at the end you went,
It was very.
To answer his question, yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
you
got
through.
You got through. Good job.
And we put you on the air.
Now here's the question: was that a joke? Was somebody doing that to be funny?
The tone of his voice made me think that he was trying to be funny.
I thought, to me, have you asked Jeremy Kester about this? Has he said anything? I thought
don't
it
think
kind of
it's him.
sounded like his voice. You don't think it's
I
him?
don't think it's him.
Somebody said "daddy" at the beginning, like a kid was on a swing.
Yeah. Let's forensic.
Let's
this
listen
thing.
to that again.
There it goes again. All right. Hold on. There we go. Here it goes.
Hello?
outside.
Is this? Did I get through? I got through. Is this from the middle? Hey, hello? Oh.
Aw.
See, that's the thing. Like, if you've ever tried to leave a voice message for us, you know that it's like you click a link and then it's you record, you hit stop, and then it asks you if you want to listen to it before you actually send it our way. So like, it's I don't see somebody accidentally sending us something.
The tone is very cartoony almost. So I'm guessing and we post that link all over Instagram. So it could be a total
It legitimately
Yeah.
could be.
We have so many fans.
Yeah, you never
It could
really
be
know.
countless numbers of people from around the
It's
world.
legitimately gotten to the point where we don't know everyone who's listening, so that's a good thing.
That's true. That's
a good
true.
thing.
All right. So we got another email, and this is from Spencer. This is about pet peeves as well. He said, "Hello, all. 16-time listener, first-time responder. Love being a middler. Keep up the great work. I want to respond to Kendall's topic of being late. I'm an accountant, so everything for me is about the numbers and details. I know it's easy for me to understand when I need to get ready and leave for an event, church, etc. What irks me is people who are habitually late to places. To me, that says, yes, I have a time management problem, but I don't care to fix it. I'm the type who would rather get somewhere 15 to 30 minutes early than get there late, and I can't stand when people have the capability to get places on time but never do. It's a sign of respect to who or what you are headed to be on time. I could go on all day about this, but the email already looks long and I don't want to be the crazy middler. Looking forward to what comes next on the show. Thanks, Spencer."
I just like to say, you're right. They do have a problem. They don't want to fix it, and they're not good people.
Jeez.
And
But he does say habitually. So we asked, is it okay? A couple times.
yeah. Okay, now we backpedal and be centrist again. Look,
This isn't going to go anywhere if we're not going to
somebody
stand
has
for
to take
anything.
somebody has to take the hard line, and being late is my line. I will die on that hill.
Oh, that's funny.
But yeah, I think we did say every now and then is one thing. Habitually late is quite different.
Well, we even talked about that, about how
Right.
how it's like, for me at least, the annoying part, or it's only annoying when I feel like it was avoidable.
yeah.
But
Oh, that's funny. So thanks, Spencer. All right, we have another voicemail about parenting.
Hey guys, it's Jeremy. I was really thinking about the part you talked about parenting and how it's really difficult, Corey. How you wrestled with even bringing it up because it's so tough. And I'm just thinking about how the reason that we don't talk about parenting with each other is because of how insanely important it is, right? Like if you make a mistake, it's just a big deal. But that's why we should talk about it, is because of how important it is. And so I tend to meddle a little more than I should. My gauge for whether or not I should meddle is whether or not I get the acceptance of the parent in the meddling. If I have a mom that's just really, really discouraged in a grocery store, kids screaming, not the flurry hippie you were talking about, but one that's just really discouraged, I'll say, hey, I can talk to him if you want. I've got 4 kids. I totally get it. But otherwise, yeah, man, you got to stay out of it. It's really difficult. We should talk more.
Interesting. So maybe we do a from the middle parenting episode.
yeah,
Yeah, that's tough because I think we alluded to it a little bit, how highly opinionated the parenting thing is. And I think that's where that response came from.
yeah.
Because I was talking to Jeremy about it, kind of after that episode. And he's like, would you ever say anything? I'm like, oh, no, no, heavens, no. I wouldn't say anything to a stranger parent. But it's right. I think I might have mentioned it in another episode. It's like we were told to not talk about religion and politics in public, and so we've lost the ability to actually have a conversation about religion and politics.
Yeah.
And I think the same has almost come true with the topic of parenting. Like nobody wants to potentially offend another parent. And so nobody's even like, it feels like people can't even say, there's no disciplining the neighbor's kid anymore, or
Right.
respect all the grown-ups, and the grown-ups would all take each other's side. And,
Yeah.
Sure.
there's
Yeah.
so much, it's such a huge, it needs to be its own episode.
There's a lot
but,
that's different there. Yeah,
but lots
'Cause- and
have
it's not-
changed.
and it's not all like, it's not all just like talking to a stranger parent about that kind of thing, because that's not necessarily always a good idea, even back in the day. But
Right.
but like, even like, I mean, just think about your friends, and if you have have questions or raise eyebrows about like, do you even talk to your friends about that? And I would say for almost all of us, the answer is probably no. We might speak in generalities. We might speak in a kind of a passive aggressive way, but I don't feel like we're all kind of sitting around having those conversations about what should I do about this, or at least we're not volunteering it if we see something that we think we could help with.
Yeah.
We're not. I feel like we're not. I'm not anyway upfront about that unless like advice is solicited.
Yeah, I had a friend of mine said that his friend who had 2 kids told him, "You've got to read this book on parenting. If anybody asks or if anybody tells you don't read it or read something else, don't listen to them. Just read this book." And there's a lot. I mean, that's like I was like, well, I don't have any unsolicited advice for you, but like you might want to look into what the book is
Right.
before he says that that's the truth on what to do, all aspects of parenting. So
But you brought up an interesting point, and that is what I'll call, for lack of a better term right now, just sort of like community parenting, where if you were in the neighborhood in the 50s, Americana, everybody left their doors open and unlocked and all the kids ran around and whatever. It didn't matter that one parent corrected or disciplined another child because everybody pretty much had the same moral precepts and agreed on some
Right.
basic moral tenets.
Right.
And as that diminishes, and there's so many preferences on how to do parenting, you can't even do that anymore, like basic stuff.
Well, you can't
Yeah.
even assume that people in a smaller, more niche community group that you're in might be the same. If you can't even know for sure that the people that sit next to you at church or in a social softball league are
Yeah.
going to necessarily even agree with how you parent.
Right.
It could be wildly different still. And
But I like that Jeremy said in his voicemail, he said, as long as he has that sort of nod from them that he has their respect or they respect him and they're struggling, right? So they respect him, and B, they're willing, they're open, they're at a situation where they're willing to take some advice or some counsel. So yeah.
Yeah, and I appreciate that he mentioned that like he'll volunteer it in that way, like
Yeah.
seeing the mom who's struggling and just be like, hey, I have kids, can I try something
Yeah.
like that? I think that's really cool.
Yeah. Interesting.
Jeremy's
though.
a good guy.
Good peeps.
A lot of us could learn some stuff from that guy.
All right. So all the good discussion about pet peeves helped us realize that we have a few more. And I just want to thank my buddy Drew. This is my hunting buddy Drew, and we're really good friends with my wife and I are good friends with their family. So he sent in a photo. This is an incentive for you to interact with us on Facebook. He sent in a photo of a jaguar that was parked.
Jaguar.
Jaguar, as the English like to say.
Yep.
You pull that U and R out at the end.
That was parked in the sort of no parking diagonal stripes area of a parking lot. And that reminded us it reminded me anyway, how much I hate when people park straddling a parking line. So they take up 2 spaces with their car because their car's too fancy and special to get
Doesn't
dinged.
even have to be a fancy car. I know a lady who did it with like her old minivan.
Really?
Yep.
You know the one pass that I'll give to that? That's not an obvious, like, somebody comes out of the car
Yeah.
and clear. If you want to do that, just park like 10, 15 spaces beyond
You've got to be
where all
beyond
the
the car
cars are.
corrals.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're at
Yeah.
a Walmart or something, think that really deep parking lot and kind of all the cars kind of taper off
Yep.
and all the rows. Yeah. Go 10 or 15 beyond that and park across 4 if you want.
Which we had somebody comment on that very photo.
Yeah.
They have a big, huge, heavy-duty truck that the doors are huge and it's just big. She's like, I know we're a tank, so we do that, but we park way out
Right.
at the back of the
Yeah.
lot. I'm like, no problem. That's
Totally
all
fine.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I drive a full-size truck, and that's just I don't do the I'm going to straddle parking spots thing, but I do like intentionally park someplace where I know nobody's going to park next to me.
Sure.
Yeah.
So because I want to be able to swing my doors, especially like getting kids in and out of
Yeah.
a
Yes.
truck
No
that
doubt.
size,
Yep.
like I have to be able to swing my doors to get them in there.
But again, you're aware. You're
Right.
you're not pretending like you're the center of the universe. You're aware, hey, this is a problem, so I'm just going to go a little further out.
Yeah, I mean, hey, someone can park their Dodge Neon from 1994 at the at the convenience store in the fire lane in front of the store, and that ticks me off as much as that guy with the Jaguar.
Yes.
So
I thought of another one, and someone else in my life, like years and years and years ago, I remember them saying this to me as we walked past each other. I don't remember if it was indoor or outdoor, but when people sort of like scuff their feet when they walk or like shuffle their feet, like they're basically just not picking up their feet all the way.
yeah,
This is another sound one. Like when I can hear you just shuffling your feet, that annoys me. And I was doing it one time.
yeah,
I had those. You remember the Adidas Superstars?
yeah.
Yeah, like in the early 2000s. I would just like lazily walk with those, probably with Jinko jeans on or something like
Right.
that.
Those are
And the
worst.
person walked by me and goes, "Pick up your feet." Like, because I was doing that, like scuff, shuffle my feet, sort of slide their feet, so it makes
Yeah.
that noise. Anyway, so that's one that bothers me, but I've done it. Here's one. So these last two both happened today, like before I drove over here to record. When people in my family yell for someone else in the family through the house, and they don't even know if the person is in that room, on that floor, or on our property. They're just yelling, "Hey!" And they stay where they are and just go, "Hey!" Hey, like it'll be Lily. I'm like, do you even know if she's here? What if she's at the neighbor's house? So our new rule is like, you have to go look first, and if you can't find them,
Then start
you're
yelling.
not allowed to just yell. That feels so like lazy and disrespectful to just go. And I love my wife. Happy anniversary, honey. But sometimes she does that for one of the kids, and it just really bothers me. Here's another one that happened, and I know we're winding down here because we have a story to tell about episode 17. But if somebody sets the alarm on the oven, and then it goes off and there's no one around, and I hear it, now it's on me to figure out,
Is it done yet?
what are you cooking? Is it done yet? Where are you? Why did you just leave this here? An unattended oven alarm?
I don't want extra responsibility. I've got to figure
Yeah,
out
it's
things
like
now.
It's like you just made it my problem.
yeah.
And it happened today. My daughter was making brownies, and listen, the thing being baked probably benefits me, and if it's
Right.
Sherry, she probably is doing something else around the house. So like, I have no right to complain. Like, she's probably out taking care of another responsibility, being an
Right,
amazing
yeah.
mom. But like now, it's like, what's this? Why is this going off? Is this who's baking something? Is it done? What's
Now-
happening?
now-
Where are you?
Now who's yelling through the house?
Yeah.
Exactly. So you forced me to do a pet peeve that I don't want to have to do.
Yeah, and you probably shuffled your feet on your way over there because you were.
We're all imperfect people. All right. So this is really funny. And this happened, this was after episode 17 where we talked about Dungeons and Dragons. We had our friend James Taylor on. So after we stop recording, James says to you, Kendall, "Oh, shoot, I forgot to bring my props." And I said, "Props?" And he goes back into our green room where Jar Jar Binks was knocked out on the floor.
Right.
And he brings in a couple things. The first of which is his phone. And he said, I listened to the episode where you were talking about considering shaving your head and that your hair was thinning. And I want to show you something. So he pulls out his phone and he opens his photo album. Now, James, as he mentioned in the episode, goes to church with Kendall and I, and he sits up in the bleacher seating, and my family and I always sit down on the floor under the spotlights on the gym floor.
In front of the people who are elevated.
In front of the people who are elevated. And he had taken pictures the Sunday before of the back of my head. And he zooms in and he zooms in and he says, and I think he said it on the episode, or at least he mentioned it on our page. He goes, "Brother, fire it before it quits on you." He said, "It might be time. You might just have to." And I go, from the front, it doesn't feel that bad. But then I see pictures like that. And again, this was not the first time I've seen a picture like that. I told you guys, I see pictures all the time from our summits with clients where the back of my head faces
Right,
the
yeah,
whole room,
yeah,
blah, blah,
the
blah. We've talked about it.
dandelion.
The dandelion thing. And he goes, yeah, it might be okay from the front, but he's like, you're on borrowed time, my man. So then the next prop he pulls out was clippers.
Ooh.
And he wanted to do it live on the podcast. We didn't. We left that night because we had recorded that episode and it was late, and so we didn't do it. But yep, I went ahead and did it.
He's a new man, ladies and gentlemen.
New man, ladies and gentlemen. I went ahead and just bit the bullet. And you know what the realization that I got to was? A weird bald spot is way more noticeable than just a bald guy.
Yeah.
So this past Friday, I was watching a podcast. It was Bill Burr on Joe Rogan's podcast. They're both bald dudes with beards. And I just went, you know what? It's time. I'm tired of overthinking this. It's just time to do it. So I text Sherry and I go, I'm doing it. I'm shaving my head. Do you want to be here for this? And she goes, yes, hold on. I'm at Kroger. I'll be right there. So she comes home. She doesn't even put the groceries away because she knows like he's ready. He just wants to be done with it and to stop overthinking it. Because I told her it was coming. I said, let's wait till we get back from Hawaii because I don't want to have a weird like like a white head and then tan skin. So I said, let's just wait a little bit and then I'm going to do it. So she comes upstairs and I've got the clippers in hand and she's like, okay, just hold on. I feel like I need to prepare myself. Like I don't, and I'm like, no, you're supposed to be like an emotional rock for me in this moment. Like I'm supposed to be the one struggling with this. She's like, I know, but like so much of my love for you has always been about your dark hair. And I'm just, so like she starts, no exaggeration, she starts crying. She's like, I just don't know that I'm ready for this. And like, what if it looks really weird? And I'm like, you're supposed to be my emotional rock in this moment. So I said, okay, let's just make it fun. I'm like, it's hair. If it's horrible, it grows back.
Maybe.
In most spots. So let's just do like a progression where we like shave the sides and then shave a little more, leaving a mohawk, and then shave the whole thing. So we do the first one. She shaves the side. She's like, okay, it's not looking as bad as I thought, right? And then we go to do the one where we just like leave a 2-inch strip of mohawk. Bros, there wasn't even enough hair there to take that picture. And then she goes,
so you didn't even take a picture?
not that one.
That's the one I want to see.
Yeah, no, not that one. It was bad. So she goes, maybe it really was time. And then we shaved it off and we're looking in the mirror and we're like, you know, it's not as bad as we thought it was going to be. Like we were prepared to be more shocked.
Yeah.
Or more like, oh Lord, this was a mistake. So yeah, so it's entering a new phase.
There you go.
Just thank you, Bill Burr and Joe Rogan, for inspiring me to finally do it.
Indeed. It looks good, man.
But James was the first guy in my life. Other guys have said, they've tried to be nice about it and said, maybe just try it and see what it looks like.
Just give it a shot, man.
Just, you know, it's hair, right? James was, thank you, James, because you were the first one to say, bro, it's time. and I respect that. So yes, it's gone. And my robot brother, when we got here to record tonight, he didn't say anything. He just goes, how's it feel?
He did not know, by the way.
Yeah.
Like
his first response was, how's it feel? Or did you say, do you like it? How do you like it?
I think it was, how do you like
I think
it?
it was, how do you like it?
No, it's fine. I don't care. That was funny. All right. So yeah, hair's gone. She gone. So that was that. I think that was pretty much it. There was one message for you, Kendall, from Dylan's wife. She says, I'm very curious to know if Kendall is going to be dressing up Toby for Halloween, and if so, what will he be?
And that's my response to that is that you don't get a parrot to dress up. I know I've talked about the little hats, but no, one of the reasons why you get a parrot is because a parrot is the perfect accessory for your pirate costume. Mm-hmm. That no one else, like I could dress up as a pirate and then people would be like, oh, look at that cute parrot on it. And they were, holy, is that real?
Right.
People can have that moment, be like, man, that guy dove deep into his costume. So that's why you get a parrot. That's the main reason, is so that I can dress up like a pirate. That's why we have the bird leash, so we can go trick-or-treating. Yep. I'm actually going to teach him to say trick or treat by the time we get to
for
to
real.
Halloween. No, this is
man.
all. This is. Is it? Yeah, I'm joking. This is all joking that I'm doing right now.
So you will dress him up.
That's so yeah, I have a hat for him, of course.
In a costume.
No.
There's your answer.
Which here's another incentive to follow us on social media. We posted a great picture of a Halloween costume idea for Kendall and Amy that might be one of the greatest photos I've ever seen. If you're a fan of those awkward family photos, clickbait things that pop up online, this one takes the cake, and it involves a couple and a bird, and it's pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
Actually hilarious.
We posted our own clickbait,
Yep.
so go ahead and click.
Yeah.
It had-
you gotta-
well,
you
I
gotta-
mean, it's not really clickbait. It's just, I mean, you click on it, doesn't do anything. It doesn't take you anywhere. It's just a surprise. It's our podcast.
But our friend Jerry
that.
had sent that photo to us a while ago.
Yeah.
Like months and months ago, and says, Kendall, I've got your next trick or treat costume figured out.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No. So the real answer to all of that is that it's too cold on Halloween to take a bird outside. But
All right.
that
well,
makes it not fun.
thank you all for listening. Thank you for all of our interactions that we received. I hope we addressed each of them, and that's really fun for us to see those things and see what from the show you guys are enjoying and what stuff you have question about.
Hello? Is this? Did I get through? I got through. Is this from the middle? Hey, hello? Hello? Oh.
That could be you.
That could be you.
That could be you.
So yeah, thank you guys for interacting. So I think that's pretty much it.
Feels good.
Feels really good
Mm.
in my spirit.
Mm. Never mind.
What's happening? Bye. Bye. Worst ending.